I'm James Demer, the audio nomad, and today I'd like to show you a really special IEM from a company called HeartField, and it's the SilverSmith. Let's get into it. I actually asked Linsoul to send me the HeartField Silveria, which is a $399 IEM that has the new MEMS driver that people are excited about, and I've heard good things about. I've actually never heard it myself. Instead, they sent me the HeartField SilverSmith, which is $100 more. It's $499. The HeartField SilverSmith is the most beautiful and premium IEM that I've ever had in my possession. Now, I've never held or used something like a Subtonic Storm or some of those really, really expensive IEMs, but these are gorgeous. The aesthetic is very, very pleasing to me. It's a style that I like. The quality of the build and the materials is exceptional. The finish is flawless. These are truly a work of art. It's like a artisan piece of jewelry. What you get when you purchase the HeartField SilverSmith is a single dynamic and two balanced armature driver configuration. I'm a big fan of less is more when it works. For instance, the 64 Audio TIA Trio is one of my all-time favorite IEMs, and that also has one dynamic driver and two balanced armatures. Sometimes it just works. So here's what we get with the HeartField SilverSmith for $499, mind you. It's a 0.925 silver shell. So it's like essentially almost pure silver. It's jewelry grade silver coated in platinum, and it's finished to a level that is, it's exquisite. It looks like, you know, it kind of reminds me of the bean in Chicago, that sculptural giant bean looking thing that's in the middle of Chicago. And if you compare the bean to this IEM, it's almost just a giant version. The HeartField SilverSmith are polished to perfection. They have gentle, beautiful curves. Nothing seems out of place. And if it truly is a platinum coating, platinum has a kind of a colder, more brilliant shine to it than even silver. The faceplate to the HeartField SilverSmith is a smoky mother of pearl. It has a lot of depth, and they've really selected two nice pieces that, while they're not the same, which I think is cool, it's a little wabi-sabi, they complement each other. They're both similar in color and texture. The left side has the HeartField, I guess it's a logo or name written in Chinese characters, and then the right side is etched with SilverSmith. Then there's a beautiful gold band that joins the smoky mother of pearl with the silver platinum coated shell. And while it sounds like it could be gaudy, and it certainly could be gaudy if done overboard, this is not done overboard. It's done to perfection, and it's beautiful. Has a decent sized nozzle. I haven't measured it, but I'm guessing it's maybe 4.5 millimeters. It's not a huge nozzle, with a good lip to hold your tip in place and a nice stainless steel screen. The cable is also very, very lovely. It's a thin cable. I like thin cables because I think they're elegant. And in case of the HeartField SilverSmith, they require an elegant cable to complete the package. The splitter is this beautiful silver stacked, I guess you'd call it like a bar that has, it probably says HeartField on it in a stylized Chinese character font. And then the connector is 3.5 millimeter, and it's a brushed aluminum. You know, this might be the only thing that doesn't quite fit. The tip doesn't quite have the level of detail that the rest of the presentation does. Maybe they saved a little bit of money here, but it works fine nonetheless, and it's really, really beautiful. The packaging is also really nice. The box is very simple. You know, it's a little bit Apple-esque. When you get an Apple product, it's generally just a stark white package with simple photo of the IEMs. And you turn it over and it tells you some information about the IEM, such as the impedance, which is 22 ohms, frequency response 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, 2 balanced armature, 1 dynamic driver. Materials 925 silver, copper, shell. You get to the inner box, which is also very stark white with that HeartField stylized logo. You open it up. It's like a piece of tissue paper that says HeartField. It's also very nice. And just a simple foam laser cutout where you'd put the IEM. It's interesting is you get this little silver sticky bar that says SilverSmith. It's kind of gold. It's a little bit silvery, a little bit gold. It's rather nice. You peel out the foam, you get a simple carrying case and a few tips. The carrying case is what looks like faux leather. It's a puck style, and that's about it. But frankly, that's enough. The whole thing is pretty nice. It's a nice presentation. It's hard to believe that they've built something this premium for $500. It truly is. I've seen IEMs that cost many times more than $500 that don't have the level of quality, material choice, and presentation that the HeartField SilverSmith has. It's the best I've ever seen. Let's talk about how it sounds. I wanted to love the sound of the HeartField SilverSmith so badly because they're gorgeous and they're fun to touch and they feel good in your hand and they feel good in your ears and they look so nice. But I just couldn't get into the tuning. While I would say that the sound quality is exceptional, they have decent soundstage. There's no audible distortion. They're clearly using matched drivers and the sets are matched quite evenly when measured on my device. They just have this, it's kind of a weird tuning. And in a way, I appreciate HeartField going for something that's just not the Harman or new meta. They're trying something different. And maybe it's a tuning that Asians in particular like more than Westerners. I do know that Asians tend to prefer a different style of tuning often than a Western audience prefers. And I believe my theory is it comes down to the style of music that we listen to, but I could be wrong. I don't know. In any case, when I compare a graph of my beloved TheAudio V16, which in my opinion is the perfect tuning, to the HeartField SilverSmith, what you'll notice is the SilverSmith has more sub bass, but then the mids tend to be 3 to 4 dB more present from 200 hertz, and then it really spikes up all the way to 2500 hertz. There's this massive, massive slope, and what that gives you is this extremely forward vocal presence. It's this mid-high frequency that's much more elevated than the V16, and it sounds extremely unnatural to me. It pushes things forward in somewhat of a potentially nasally, honky, almost tin can sort of way. And while I wouldn't say that these present in a way that sounds like you're listening through a tin can or that it's extremely nasally, it's much more apparent than it is to something like the V16, which sounds much more natural and recessed in that region. From that aspect, the tuning is kind of a big miss for me. I think you could fix this with EQ, no problem. I tend to not EQ my IEMs, mostly because I just don't have a way of doing it when I'm using my iPhone and my dongle, and that's typically how I listen to music. I would think that maybe these would be good for my work as a location audio mixer. Pushing the vocals forward is going to give me that extreme presence in the vocal range, which is the sweet spot of where my work is. However, what might happen is I pull back that range in my mix, and then when it goes to an editor, they find that I've softened or reduced the amplitude in that mid-range area where they really want the audio to shine. So maybe it wouldn't actually be a good IEM after all, now that I'm thinking it through. I will say that the HeartField SilverSmith do have a nice airy presence and a sweet sparkle to them. They really are a beautiful IEM with a lot of potential. If it were possible for HeartField to adjust this tuning to be a little more to my taste, I think this could be the set of all time for me. This is truly, it's just so beautiful. I wish that I could forgive the sound quality because I love the build quality so much, but ultimately I'm here to listen to music and not to stare at my IEMs and hold on to them. So with that, I would say, unless you love really, really forward vocals and you love that mid presence to be super forward in your mix, I would give these a pass. However, you should check them out because they are exceptionally well built, and I think other IEM manufacturers could take a page from the HeartField playbook and start building their IEMs in a way that doesn't just look like every other IEM of like sparkly faceplates or kind of cheap plastic feeling parts. Do it like this. Please do it like this. That's it for now. Until next time, thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by Linsoul.com. Linsoul sells IEMs, headphones, amplifiers, digital to analog converters, cables, really just about anything you could want for personal hi-fi or even home hi-fi. Their prices are great, the quality is exceptional, and their customer service is really second to none. Check them out in the link below.